Hey, it's Ronald Polius. 2023, I was a school bus driver. 24, I was a high school teacher, and I started a real estate part-time, knocking doors during my lunch break and after school and on Saturdays. And in August, finally went full-time in real estate after getting a $40,000 check that was $3,000 shy of my whole teaching salary. Teaching salary took me 9 months to get. I got this deal, and it took about 3 months because I was working the lead, and probate took about a month. And so now I do this full time, and I'm doing another deal walkthrough to help you work through some numbers. Okay, so this deal is a foreclosure lead that I got directly from the county. Went on to the website, saw that foreclosure was started, saw that there was an auction, and said, okay, let me go try to get a hold of this seller or homeowner. Now, why do I do these walkthroughs? Because I want people to realize that there are so many pieces that come into this, and I want to build a puzzle for you and give you those pieces so you can see a big picture. You look at all these people who are doing deals and doing this, and you're not in the operation. So you're not hearing the conversations, you're not seeing the email threads, you're not seeing the text. And so a lot of times people just see when somebody begins the race and when they run through that finish line marker, and they miss all the things between. All the times they drank Gatorade so they can keep going. All the times they fell and they kept going. It's a marathon. So I want to give you these deal walkthroughs to kind of give you some pieces and help you put some things together, give you some tips and tricks to help you start negotiating deals, start getting contracts, or if you're already doing stuff in real estate, to get you the tips and tricks you need to get better margin. If you can make $15,000 more on each deal, if you can get every deal $20,000 cheaper, it ends up paying off. You don't have to do more volume. You just get quality. That's kind of what I focus on. So I got this deal from the county. It was a door knock. It's a foreclosure. Foreclosure is a symptom. Okay? It's a symptom. In other words, it's not the real cause for why they're in foreclosure. They're not in foreclosure because they're in foreclosure. Something else has happened. This particular deal, I was knocking, got a hold of a spouse, and the husband said, my wife has moved. Okay. Can you call her? Turns out the wife was going through a mental crisis and needed some time away from the husband who was creating and causing the mental crisis. And this happened for about 7 months. Yeah, I was working this lead for 7 months. And so I was knocking, and the husband kept saying, she's not here. She's still there. I don't know where she went, somewhere in out east. And I can't get a hold of her. I can't do this. I can't do that. I said, okay. I just kept knocking. I just couldn't believe it. The loan was in the wife's name. The husband wasn't on anything. And the husband defaulted to what the wife wanted. And the wife left. Fast forward, an auction finally comes on his property, and I'm saying, hey, any updates? Hey, yawning here, excuse me. And the husband finally tells me, oh, the wife is back in town. Oh, okay. Can we have a conversation? She's not at the house. Yeah, she's living elsewhere. She's not coming back here. We're kind of divorcing. So I'm now 7 months later, I'm finding they're getting a divorce. He just didn't want to say that out front, but 7 months later, he's telling me that. So, oh, it's that situation. So there's divorce, there's mental crisis, there's a financial loss because now a 2-income household became one. All of these things contributed to the foreclosure that was started. All of these right? Because the foreclosure is a symptom. Okay, I said, okay, well, I started to try to figure out because he told me he was not talking to her. It's like a cordial divorce. They're divorcing, but they still talk. So I said, okay, would you be able to get me in contact with her? I found out he was talking to another investor, another real estate agent, somebody else. And I said, well, just be careful, right? And the reason I was able to say that is because he saw me face to face. He's only been talking to everybody else through the phone, through text. Guys, the advantage you get door knocking is amazing. He saw my face and knew I was a real person. I was somebody from California. Anyways, we fast forward and he says, "Yeah, I will give your contact to my wife." I was out of town for a Christian conference and a marriage retreat. I was driving back into town. I got a call on my way into town, and it's the wife. Say, hey, auction was next week. So we're having conversation, and she's been being blown up. Guys, I skip traced this person. I couldn't get a phone number. It was disconnected. I couldn't get any information. So I was just door knocking to try to get a hold of this person. Called me, had a conversation, found out a bunch of people were calling her. And I said, wait, hold on. Why'd you call me back? Or why'd you call me? She said, the reason I called you is because my husband, who I'm divorcing, but nonetheless, we still talk. My husband said, you are trustworthy. Hey, good morning, baby girl. Would you hold her back for just a second? Let me finish this video. I'm about 5 minutes to finishing, maybe 10. Hey, good to see you, baby girl. So, you can tell these aren't edited. So she said, you're trustworthy. You're genuine. And my husband highly said, talk to him. He will help. He will help. Guys, for 7 months, I was building rapport. People think building rapport is giving all your credentials and talking shop and oh, the sky is blue, how's the weather? No, for 7 months I told him I was consistent. Not verbally, but mentally, subconsciously, he realized, man, this guy is showing up. This guy's here to help. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows the process. This guy knows that if this happens, it follows me for 7 years. For seven months. Subconsciously, this guy was concluding, okay, he's faithful. He's consistent. He's on it. And that translated for when he spoke to her and she said, why? Gave her these reasons. But the objection that I ran into with her was like she wasn't motivated. She was just like, I don't care. I actually was just gonna let it go to auction. That's why I didn't pick up anybody's call. And the times I did pick up someone's call, it was like some guy from Pakistan. Door knocking. The husband saw my face, knew I was a real person, knew I lived right here, told her, she called me, is like, yeah, let's meet up, let's do it. So I began to ask what is called implication questions. Started to ask questions like, okay, so what happens? Are you trying to rebuild? I hear you're divorcing. Yes. Okay. What happens if this goes to foreclosure and it follows you for 7 years? Oh, foreclosure follows you for 7 years? Yeah. Yeah, that's on your record. That isn't just it sells at auction and you're done and you move on and the bank moves on. No, that has ramification. That has ripple effects. And you can hear her begin to get motivated. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want that to follow me for 7 years. The husband who was unmotivated, guess what? When I heard the wife was back in town, I said, whoa. We need to get in touch because this could follow you for 7 years. He thought he was clean off the record. No, buddy, y'all are married. This is not how that works. So I asked questions that helped them realize the problem is much bigger than they initially thought. And then I started asking need payoffs. Okay, husband, wife, you're both going your separate ways. What if you could start that new chapter clean? Nothing on your record. Your credit's already shot. There's nothing I can do about that. But what if the foreclosure at least could not follow you for 7 years? Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And then we were able, because now this is still just a lead. I turned it into an opportunity. Okay, I've done videos before where I'm looking to see if this is a lead. Okay, they want to sell. It's and they didn't want to sell. Ava, daddy's almost done. Go to mommy. Go to mommy. Daddy's almost done. Daddy's gonna come to you, okay? Okay, go to mommy. We'll give you a marker. And before I was working through this and it wasn't an opportunity. I had to sift through to see. So, oh yeah, okay, this is an opportunity. They want to sell. This one I turned into an opportunity. Okay? And that's what you got to do sometimes as a negotiator. You got to ask specific questions that weigh the scale in such a way that it leans on this side. It's like, yeah, actually selling is the best route to go. Turn it into an opportunity. Now I turned it into a deal. $10,000, said, okay, hold on. I don't know yet if I can do that. I got to walk the property. So I did. I walked the property and follow this formula. ARV times 70% minus repairs equals maximum allowable offer. So I have an ARV of 195 and I had a rehab of 60,000. That's about what I was going to budget for this. It probably would have been more, to be candid. And so let's do the math on that. Let's do 195 times 70% minus 60K. Okay. That makes it 76. Now, I was going to keep it as a rental and convert the garage, and that would have bumped up the ARV to about 210. So you do that, minus 70%, minus 60. So that would have been my MAO, about 87,000. So that value add would have increased my margin about 11K. Well, I last minute decided to wholesale it, to sell it to somebody else. And so let's do the same, 195 times 75%, because they would buy it a little bit higher, minus hold on. So 195 times 75% minus 40K rehab equals 106,250. He said, Ronald, hold on. Why is your rehab different from their rehab? And the reason is because they won't convert the garage like I would. Other people would keep it and fix and flip it. If I was keeping it as a rental, I would convert the garage, maximize my value in that place so I can get more rooms, which means I can increase rents. This person, they're just going to fix it all up, keep the garage the same, and list it back on market and make a quick 20, 30, 40K, whatever it ends up being. Guys, I got it under contract for 70,000 and some odd change. I'll just say 250. $6,000 below my 70% formula. So I have margin of $6,000. And the only reason it's this high is because of fees increased it by about 22,000. So there was a bunch of fees on this. I would have gotten it for $58,000 if it wasn't for the fees. Seller's walking away with 10K. I dispoed this. How'd you dispo it? I dispoed it at 115. I said, let me just throw it out there. Let me get some feelers to see what people would buy this at. What if I just wanted to pivot? Because it's in an area I don't care too much for. I don't have any rentals in that area. And it's one of those areas, one street's okay and the other street's horrible. And so I sent it out for that. I had people come back at me at 60,000. These people were a joke. I'm not sending deals to them anymore. They're funny. And then this person, one person specifically said, let's start the bidding at $60,000. I said, what? This is not how that works. We're not starting bidding. This is not. Anyways, I said, yeah, forget you. Anyways, I sent it out. Other people came at 91, 93, 70, this array of numbers. I said, you know what? Let me just keep this as a rental. I'll get a nice cash out refinance on the back end. I'll be good. Well, this last week, things have just exploded. I have 8 deals on the contract. I'm buying 7 deals this month. I'm double closing one. I made a video on it, making $67,000 on that. I'm double closing this one, so I'm selling 2 and I'm keeping 5. So I was like, whoa! I got too much on my plate. Let me pivot last minute and sell this. And the reason I just want to highlight this pivot part is because when you buy deep enough, right? This is my 76. That's my MAO. I got it under at 70, and that's only because the fees added up. But when you buy it deep enough, you can pivot last minute. If I had purchased this at 106 using that higher formula with a lower rehab, that would have worked for somebody else. I would not have been able to pivot as easily. So I sent it out, and last minute I changed my mind and said, you know what, I'm just gonna sell it. It's not in an area I like. I don't got rentals over there. I got rentals at other place. I'm literally buying another deal this month where I have a rental on this street and the deal I'm buying is on this street. That's fantastic. It's fantastic. I found someone who countered my 115, because remember, MAO for somebody else is 106. So why'd you send it out at 115? Because I want to go high and I want people to get me low. When you list something on Facebook Marketplace to sell, do you get the full offer you're asking at first? No. You get one person who said, I'm going to start the bidding at $2. Hey, I'm going to offer you 50% of what you're asking. Then you find that one person after 30 messages that says, you know what, I'd buy it at 108. And you've heard all the other people give their offers, and you say, okay, yeah, I'll and this is how you say it. This is how I said it. I'll come down to 108. I'm letting them know psychologically that I am taking a lower offer, that I am coming down to meet them where they're at. Because I want them to know that on the next deal, I might not come down. I want them to know that I don't want them to think, oh, this guy just always has $7,000 to just give away. You just come down. Like, no, this time I'm coming down. So I came down. So you're doing math right now. My contract price is $72,250. I'm double closing this and selling it to another investor at 108. Guys, and by next week, I'm gonna have a $38,000 contract. This month alone, in just the 2 deals I have closing, where I'm selling to somebody else, not including the 5 I'm gonna buy, that I'm gonna rehab, that I'm gonna renovate and then refinance and get some money in about a month or month and a half, maybe 2 months. Not including the money I'm gonna get over there. Because I got one deal I bought deep enough. I'm gonna get a cash out refinance for around $35,000. a cash out refinance for $35,000. Tax free, awesome deal. Keeping it as a rental. So I'm keeping it as a rental, gaining an asset, and I'm getting a $35,000 check that I don't have to pay taxes on. Not including those deals, I am going to be making, let's see, real quick, 67,250 plus 38, 105. $105,000. When I started in 2024, I did a bunch of deals on my lunch break here and there, and I made about I think I made 90 or 80 something thousand dollars wholesaling in 12 months. In 25, I went down. I think I made $60,000. It was a slow year. A bunch of things actually paused, foreclosures, different emergency relief programs. This year, in 2027, or is it 2026? Yeah, 2026. In 5 months, it's May. In 5 months, in 1 month alone, I'm going to bring in $105,000 just in double closes. I've not included the deals I've already sold. I'm not including the deals I will refinance, the 2 fix and flips I got going on right now that I'm going to sell. And this is all because I am door knocking. I'm door knocking. I have an EV vehicle, so I'm not even spending money on gas to get to where I'm going. Door knocking. So I want to say to you, if you're at a place, you're me from 2 years ago. You don't know how to negotiate a deal. You don't know how to underwrite a deal. You don't know how to overcome objections. You don't know how to turn somebody who's unmotivated to motivated. You don't know how to, see ya, Ava. You don't know how to turn a lead into an opportunity into a deal. You don't even know where to find leads. Keep following this channel because I'm going to give you all these puzzle pieces to make a picture that is clear for you to see and a picture you can actually work towards, a goal you can work towards. Because 2 years ago, I never thought I'd bring this in 1 month, let alone a whole year. But I started taking action, and action produced clarity for me. And like Pace Morby said, the magic I was looking for was in the work I was avoiding. So I started doing the work. I started pushing forward. I joined Owners Club. I joined Sub 2. I invested in myself. And there are people just like you, just like me, who you're ready to invest in yourself. I've spent about, by this time next year, I would have spent $60,000 in coaching programs and mentorships in communities. If you could spend $60,000 to make $100,000 in 1 month, would you? And get this, if you could spend that 60 to make 105,000 in 1 month, but you have the skills to repeat this 1 month several times over, wouldn't you make the investment? How different would your life look? I'm going to be building something to help people just like you. I don't know what that looks like yet, but keep following and pay attention, because in my Instagram, I'm always putting stuff on there. Ronald Polius is where you can find me. But keep following, because you need this, because you're me from 2 years ago. I needed this, and I got it. And so I'm wanting to get all the information I've gathered and learned, the tools, the tricks, the tips, and put them into one place to serve someone just like you, so that you can get skills where you can bring in things like this in a month, and you're just like, okay, let's keep going. People would stop door knocking. I got this 40K contract going, and the next day I'm door knocking. I gotta keep this going. I gotta keep this going. So comment below. Give me something you gained from this that unlocked something for you, a puzzle piece that made the picture a little bit clearer, and then give me a question that this created in your mind that you would want to get answered, and I'll work on answering those questions. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Ronald Paulius, and let's do this. Let's push forward. Let's build a good life. All right, we'll catch you on the next video.